Going to show you the Aloha POS table server software, which is developed by NCR Corporation, listed on the NASDAQ New York. Aloha POS is one of the biggest selling hospitality POS software packages in the world. So let's see why. When I first access the terminal, I must enter my PIN number. The PIN number is normally assigned an authority level, which determines what I can and can't do with the POS software, mainly for security purposes. In this case, I'm going to log in as 100 and click on OK. Once I've done that, I can see the floor plan of my restaurant. We've got our table icons here in white representing or meaning that the table is unoccupied at the moment. They're being positioned around our floor plan, so it just sort of gives a visual representation of our layout of our restaurant. I'm going to open up table 20, or say we're going to simulate having 2 guests on table 20. So I'm going to enter 2 guests here and click on OK. Now, the POS order entry screen shows you the check on the left here, the menu broken into various product categories down the center here. I'm sort of not restricted there to the number that I can have. When I select a particular product category, the items associated with it appear on the right. Okay, so we can show you beer. We can also have a little logo on our buttons, so for a better visual representation for our employees to find the item. So let's go back to our breakfast. In this case, I'm going to select the eggs grill. The POS system is prompting the operator to how the eggs should be cooked. In this case, I'm going to go poached and brown bread. The next customer wanted eggs salmon, and they want their eggs fried, and they want it on multigrain. So I've entered my initial order in for my food. Now I'm going to roll down and see my other breakfast items. I'll select an orange juice. I'll come across here to my coffee and tea. I'll have a flat white, and on this occasion I'm going to modify that by selecting the modify button. And I want that strong in a mug. I'll click on OK. So that's my initial order. So I've got a couple of choices here. I can either now press the done button at the top center. That will then send that order to the order printers and then log me out as an operator, so another operator could use the POS terminal. Otherwise, I could then close this table off, send the items to the order printer, but keep myself logged in because I may want to add another order for another table. So I'll do that in this occasion. So I've sent that order off to the printers. Now we can see the table icon has changed to green, telling me that this table is now occupied with orders on it. So let's open up another table. Let's go to, say, table 3. We'll enter, say, 3 guests. Now we're going to come down to our sandwiches. We'll go a meat lovers sandwich. We'll have that on wholemeal. We'll have a ham, cheese and tomato sandwich on white. Now I'm going to modify that sandwich by selecting modify, food mods, no butter. Click on OK. Now if I want to modify a previously entered item, I would need to select that item on the check by touching the touch screen. Then I select modify, and then I can go through. I could change the bread type. I could change, select a food mod, say no avocado, and I'll click on OK. Okay, so let's also add a few beers to this. We'll go have a beer, have a Heineken. Actually, let's roll down here. We'll have a house spirit of a Scotch and Coke, Scotch and Coke. Now I'm going to now send that to my order printers. On this occasion, I'm going to select done, which will then send that item to the order printers and then log me out of the terminal. So let's log in again. So 100. Okay, so now I can see table 20 and table 3 are occupied because they're indicated to me in green. So let's open up table 20 again and we'll add to their order. So let's actually give them a cocktail. So let's press cocktails, and I'm going to select Cosmopolitan. So I've rung up my Cosmopolitan. Now Aloha has a special function which allows you to assign a recipe to an item. So if I touch the recipe button here, I can then bring up the recipe for this cocktail. So I can see a picture of the item here, so I know how to present that to the customer. I could actually add a movie to it if I wanted to, so it'll actually display a movie and to show me how to make it. There's the instructions for me how to make it. I can roll down, roll up, or I can press the print button, and that will print those instructions with the order to the order printer, so the barman or whatever can make that. I'll click on OK. It's quite a powerful sort of feature. So wherever you see an item where it has a three little red asterisks here, that means it has a recipe attached to it. Commonly also you could utilize that for order suggestions. So we're at a steak restaurant, we can assign wine suggestions to that steak item or that meal item. So yeah, we could use it in that sense as well. Let's show you some of the other functions here. Hold. So what that's for, just say I'm going to ring up a few items here. We'll go for a dessert, a cheesecake here with plus ice cream, and I want to hold that dessert item back at the moment. So I'm going to select that item on the check and I'll press hold. So what that'll do is now when I conclude this order, only the items here in blue are going to be sent to the order printers. The item in pink being on hold will not be fired to the order printers at this stage. So what I'll do is I'll just press my little table icons button up the top left here. So those other items went in blue to the printers. Now I can see the table icon is flashing. That tells me there's an item on hold. Okay, the idea of the flashing is so we don't forget it. So I'm going to press that little table here. Now just assuming, say it might be 5 or 10 minutes later, I now want to send that item to the kitchen. I'll select that item and I can just simply select order, and now it will send that to the order printer. We can set up in Aloha an automated timed send. So when I put an item on hold, I can have an option which I can preset the amount or number of minutes to automatically send that item. Let's have a look at delete here. Now if I've opened up this check, if I want to delete that item, now I'm going to need manager authority. Now I am signed a manager at the moment, so it will allow me to do this. So let's select that item on the check, select delete, and then I must select a reason for it. Say it's a change mind thing. So change the mind and click on OK. So now that's deleted that item off the bill. It does sort of leave it there, but it will not print it on the bill. So it just leaves it there so we can see that that item in light grey has been deleted. Now coming across the bottom here, modify, well we've seen that. That's where we can modify an item. Repeat, that's a handy item, particularly if we're serving a lot of items that have had previously sold with modifiers and they want another round of drinks or another repeat order. So in this case I'm going to select, say, the flat white and press repeat, and what that does is repeats that item with all the modifiers. So it's a very fast way of repeating someone's order without having to go through and reselect all the modifiers. So if I repeat that, I could also repeat say the egg salmon and click on repeat. So we've repeated that order again. I could press order, and now that will send that straight through to the order printers. Okay. Quantity. Okay, that's where we want to multiply an item. Let's go into, say, okay, we'll go into a beer, and I want Heineken, and I want 5 of them. I click on OK. So that's how we would multiply it. Otherwise I could just press the Heineken button 5 times. Now let's assume what we've done with this table. So we'll press the little tables button here. That sends those items off to the table, and now we can open up another table. So let's open up table 3. Now in this case I'm going to produce the bill for the customer. So I'm going to click on close, bill print. Okay, so that's going to print my bill out. I can go and take that to the table. So let's assume that's been done. We'll press the little tables button here and close that off. Okay. Now what it does is it shows me that that table has had the bill printed by this little icon just here, little check with a little tick on it. So that's indicating to staff that it's more than likely that that table is soon to go once they've paid their bill. So let's show you how to pay the bill. So let's open up that table again. I'll click on close, and we'll come over here. We've got our tender keys here, cash, various credit cards. In this case the bill is $26.40. Let's make this real simple. We'll select $50 note key, so we'll select that. The change will be $23.60, and then we'll click on close. So that actually finalizes the table, prints out a final bill, and we can see now the table icon's gone back to white because it's now unoccupied and it's cleared. Let's open up table 20. Now what we're going to show you here is a few other features, namely split billing. Now split billing is really the bane of most restaurateurs because normally it's very difficult in most POS systems, but not with Aloha. So we're going to show you how to split the bill. So I'm going to split by pressing split bill. I'm going to assume there's 3 people, or I'm going to add 3 different checks by pressing the add key here. Now what I can now do is move the items that I want onto the various checks. Now I simply touch the item on the touch screen there, and I then touch the blank check here. And it's simple as that to move an item. So I'm going to move my Cosmopolitan, I'm going to touch it over to check 3, and the Heineken, I want 1 over there, and I want 2 Heinekens, and I'll put it into there. That's how easy it is to split a bill and move items around. I can even move items between checks once they've been moved, touch the item here and move it to there, touch the flat white, move it to there. It's as simple as that. We do have another option where we can even split an item across the 3 checks. Say, assume there was a bottle of wine or something like that, and where we want to divide that bottle of wine across the 3 checks. We could, in this case it's going to do it to an orange juice, but normally you wouldn't do it to an orange juice, but let's say orange juice split item, say by 3, and I'm going to put 1/3 of that in check 2 and 1/3 of that on check 3. So now that's done. I've split the way I've wanted it. Let's press on OK. So now I've got the table 20, check 1, 2 and 3. So we've got it all split there. Now if I want to produce the bill, I can click on close. I can either select to press print, which will only print check 1, or I can select print all, which will print the checks for all 3 checks. So let's assume we've done that, and we've taken them out onto the table, and then we've come back and we've reopened the table, and now we're going to show you how to do the payment for the 3 different checks. So I can pay, say, we'll say check 2, so it's $19.30. In this case I'm going to select Visa. Now assume the customer has written on their little Visa tab $22, so we're going to put $22 on here and press OK. Aloha POS is going to automatically calculate the tip, $2.70. Click on OK. So we can see that's all correct, and we're going to click on close. So once that's all confirmed to be correct. So now that is closed off check 2. Now we do not have to close off check 1 and 3. Those 2 people may want to continue ordering or eating or whatever they want to do and sit it on the table. So I'm going to close to my table screen, and I could go and enter another table order or do whatever I like. Let's open up table 20 again, and let's go and cash those other 2 checks off. So we're going to click on close. Let's check 1. In this case we go say $100 tendered. There's the change, $51. We'll close that off, and then it's got check 3 remaining, and we'll click on so we'll call this FPOS. We'll click on OK. We can manually enter a tip if we wanted to, say $3, and click on OK. So there we are. Once that's all confirmed to be correct, we'll click on close. So now that's finalised that table 20. Okay, so let's go and open up, say, table 43. We'll show you a few other functions. Let's put 2 guests on here. Okay, as I said before, we've got our menu down the middle here. So let's go for a house spirit, rum and Coke. We'll go for a soft drink, tonic water, go for a beer, and we'll put a beer in here. Okay, now let's show you up the top here. I've got order, takeaway, delivery and pickup. They are called order modes. Okay, now just assume I enter a drinks order for a table and I want to immediately send that to the order printer, say the bar, so they can start making that up, whilst I then proceed to put the food items into the POS. So if I click on order, it will now send those items directly to the bar. Now I could go back into the POS here, and I can enter my food items, and whilst I'm doing that, of course, I'm assuming that the bar person is making up those drinks, so it just speeds up service a little bit. So now I'll press my little table icon here, and that finishes that. Now I'm going to show you how to move a table. So I want to move table 43 to, say, table 23. So I'm going to combine. I'll press the combine button here, select 43 and table 23, combine. So that's how I can combine tables. And then if I want to detach 43, I click on that and that detaches it. That's how I can move a table. Or you can just simply move or use the combine function to combine, say 2 adjoining tables. So let's combine that with table 23 with 22 and click on combine. That will combine the two of them. So we can trade on that. If I can open up table 22 here now, and we've moved it to table 22. Let's just cash that off. Let's close. 32.40 owing. Hit the $100 note key, and we'll click on close there, and that's the change. Okay. Well, actually, we might just leave those combined there. I just want to show you one more feature. It's called equal pay. It's sort of like a way of splitting the bill, but just a lot easier. Where it's where people, say there's 3 or 4 people on a table, they dine together. They're not interested in splitting the particular items. They just want to pay the bill equally. So let's replicate that. Let's open up table 41. Say there's let's say there's 3 guests, and I'm going to quickly enter an order in here. A ham and cheese sandwich, ham cheese tomato sandwich on brown. Let's have a beer, Guinness, a VB, a salad. Rocket salad. I'm going to be fairly quick here. Let's have a snack, some chips, and some garlic bread. So just assume, okay, that's all that the 3 of them have, and they want to pay for this equally. If I go and click on close, okay, I'm going to now click on equal pay. So click equal pay here, and then ask me how do I want to break this bill up. In this case I'm going to do 3 because that's how many guests I originally put in there, although I could change that. So let's click on 3, and now what it's done is it's actually divided the bill by 3. Now I can press print, okay, so that will then print the bill, and it tells the customers how much they've got to pay each. So when they come up to the point of sale, I can say select guest 1, they owe $12.35. So in this case we're going to tender the $20 note button. Done. So that deals with guest 1. The drawer will come open, tells you the change there. Guest 2, okay, they're going to pay on Visa. We're going to go okay, no tip. So that's dealt with guest 2. Now guest 3, they're going to pay, we'll just do it by, say, cash, and they can enter the amount tendered manually in this case. Click on OK. We'll make this, put a tip in, $2.50. OK. Now there's the cash tendered, $20. Tip, $2.50. And there's the change. Then click on close. So that's just another way of dividing the bill. Instead of the split billing method, we can use the equal pay. But anyway, that about concludes our brief summary of Aloha POS. It's certainly an excellent product. We've been selling it for about 15 years. It's a rock solid product, extremely reliable, but very user friendly, but very powerful. Thank you.